Hey guys, it's me Lizzy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be giving you guys sophomore advice as a rising junior, so let's get into it. Before I even get into any tips, just know this year, sophomore year, is one of the hardest years. It's so much harder than freshman year. You have higher expectations. The workload is a lot harder than freshman year. There's no time for goofing around. And you still need to make sure that you're prioritizing your own mental health. And this is the year where some people start stepping up into leadership positions. You're no longer the underdogs. You're no longer new. The jump between freshman year and sophomore year is a little big, okay? But with these tips, you guys are going to be so prepared, okay? Don't say I didn't warn you.
And who am I? That's one secret I'll never tell. The only one. XOXO gossip.
My first tip, don't be afraid to step out your comfort zone. Make new friends this year because there's about a 70% chance that most of your friends from freshman year might not transfer over to sophomore year. And that's okay. But get out there, try new sports, try new clubs, because it can't hurt you. Worst case scenario, you're bad, you find something else to do. But being bad at something is so much better than wondering what if. Also, clubs, sports, etc., they allow you to connect with so many more people and build so many more friendships. And I know for me personally, if I didn't do sports and clubs, I wouldn't have a good chunk of the friends I have now. And I'm not saying that I have a big group of friends from this, but a lot of my friends that I do have and a lot of the true friends that I have are from clubs and sports. My next thing is to take hard classes. I literally regret this so much. I had the choice to take 6 or 7 subjects, and I could have done just history and had 6, done just art like I did this year and I only had 6, or I could have done both history and art and had 7 subjects. Instead of trying to get into history, because you needed a 95 and I think I had a 93 or a 94, but I did not advocate for myself whatsoever. So obviously I wasn't put in that history class. Don't care. Well, I care, but I got into my art class, which I love so much. But if I had just advocated, I could have done both and been on the path to A push. Now I'm never going to take A push. And I don't know if I'm necessarily mad about it, but obviously AP courses are good and they're impressive, and it's just knowing that there was a possibility that I could have done that and I missed that chance that irks my soul. So if you have the choice to take honors classes or AP classes, or if there's any way that you could possibly get placed into those classes, when you see the opportunity, please take it. Also with honors courses, I don't know how your guys' school determines them, but obviously aim for honors courses. They literally help your GPA. If you get into a nice AP class, that's college credit right there. And if you don't take the AP exam, that's still honors credit. But don't get into these classes and do bad, because
I don't think that's going to help you in the way you expect it to.
But obviously, take hard classes. It impresses colleges, and you really can't go wrong. Because a lot of the hard classes, at least for my school, the honors classes basically learn everything that the regular classes learn, just quicker. And then sometimes like we get a few extra lessons, but it's nothing major. So you're gonna learn the same stuff that you would learn in a regular class. So why not just get the honors credit, you know? My next thing is sophomore year is your redemption. Whoever you were in freshman year, this is your one chance to turn it around. Do not start off your sophomore year being messy, because whoever you are in your sophomore year, people are going to automatically assume will be you in your junior year, because by sophomore year you're 15, 16 years old. You most likely won't grow out of however you're acting. So you can either improve or get better. Wait, you can either improve or get worse, but if you get worse, people are going to be talking about you, because there's a certain age where all of that just needs to stop. Why are we bothering me?
Go get Lizzy. Get her. What she got in here? You're such a traitor.
Panda said you're making her look like a fool on camera.
She is looking like stupid. I'm telling her to go get you and she getting me.
Okay, guys, sorry. My next thing, stay on top of your work. Stay on top of your work. There is enough of it to spread you out the entire week. Don't even save a little bit for later. Matter of fact, start that work in class. As a matter of fact, start it the day before it's even assigned. If you see that little assignment on Google Classroom, the second it's on there, start it. Do your work the day that you get it. And freshman year, I was a huge planner hater. Enormous hater of the planners. Because if I'm not looking at my planner, it's not going to help me. You know what you need to do if you're one of those people? Find a way to track your own homework. For the first half of the year, if I had homework in a class, I would only put my classes that I have homework assigned, I would only put those subjects materials in my bag. So when I got home, it wasn't a question of what homework I had. But also, you're on your phone every day. Put a to-do list in your notes app with the due date or in the order that you're planning on completing it. Make yourself a plan. Because if you just go, I have this for homework, I have this for homework, I have this for homework, and you don't have any plan for when you're going to get it done, you're heavily cooked. And if you have free periods or any time that you aren't working, yes, it is fun to goof around, but it's not fun to goof around when you have over 2 assignments. Because you do not want to be up until 12 in the morning every day rushing to do homework. It's okay if you got a little nap from 4 to 7 and now you gotta do your homework, but that's absolutely miserable. The homework's gonna come out cheeks, nothing's gonna be right, and you're gonna be tired all throughout the school day and not be able to learn. So use your time wisely. Y'all can be like, oh, that's what everybody says, she's being dramatic, she's being dramatic. No, I'm not. But you know, you go and you do you, call me dramatic, and come back to this video when you hit semester 2 and you're experiencing the heaviest sophomore slump. Because sophomore slump, look at me in the eyes when I say this, sophomore slump is real. It is so real. It's bad when you have no motivation, but I always say choose your heart. If you think like, oh, I don't want to do this work, I don't care, just know that somebody younger than you is doing it and they're doing it better than you. That should be enough motivation. If it's not, you need to find somebody on TikTok who's gonna call you out for being the lazy person that you are. Sophomore slump is real and you're the only person that can get yourself out of that slump. So when you experience that sophomore slump, you need to pull together like that. I'm not even joking. You don't have time for a sophomore slump. You don't. It only gets harder from here. My next tip is to knock out as many volunteer hours as possible. If you're going for National Honor Society or if your school just requires volunteer in general, you do not want to be trying to fulfill all of your graduation requirements junior and senior year, and you also don't want to be trying to fill it up at the end of your current school year, because I know my school, we have requirements for each year to make sure that we meet our graduation requirement. But then NHS also decides on you based off of how much volunteer you do. And a lot of people are just like, oh, volunteer like makes me a good person. But volunteering can actually be fun if you're passionate about what you're doing for volunteer. Obviously, you're not going to enjoy cleaning classrooms after school. Some people enjoy it, like if their friends are doing it too. Like if that's what you want to do that. But for me, tutoring, we go to a middle school and we tutor there. The kids are hilarious and it's just actual fun to be there, and I get to be on my feet, I get to be moving, I get to be talking to people. I personally like socializing with people, so I'm gonna choose volunteer that is socializing more with people. But there's so many opportunities to volunteer, and if you know what you want to be or what you want to major in college, do volunteer related to that. It's really good to like see what you're getting yourself into, gain experience, and all that fun stuff. Next thing, prioritize your mental health. That's literally all I have to say about this. You can't get through stuff when you've already lost yourself. You're all you have for the rest of your life, so you really need to prioritize that. And that doesn't mean be like, I'm not doing any work today, my mental health, and then that turns into weeks and months and years. But obviously, if you need a mental health day, take that mental health day. If you need to put homework off and you just need a nap, do that. You are allowed to give yourself a break, but just be mindful of how much of a break you're taking. Next thing, when you find good friends, don't put all your eggs in one basket, but keep them close. What I mean by that is don't let one good friend stop you from making other friends, because most likely when that starts happening, that's not going to be your friend for long. Keep in mind, when that one good friend starts telling you stories about people that have wronged them, listen to hear what they did, okay? Listen to hear what they did, because more than 50% of the time, the victim is not the actual victim. That's the first thing. Second of all, if you listen to this person and what they're telling you, and you see the people that they're talking about and those people seem like good friends, give those people a chance. I'm not saying tell your friends like, oh, they haven't done anything to me. But me personally, this happened this year where this girl was talking all this about these people. I became friends with these people. I told them the situation. Somehow the pieces of the stories all lined up, but when I opened my eyes, I realized the victim was not the victim. Also, if you realize that someone has no other friends, it's probably for a reason. Do not be naive and look past victimizers, because victimizers are so real. If you don't have both sides of the story's not worth listening to. I'm sorry. And also, if that one good friend has such a terrible reputation, keep that in mind, because what people do to others, they will do to you. Next, you don't owe anyone friendship at all. Cut them off. If they've been bad friends to you, if they haven't been there for you, and if you find other people, you don't owe someone friendship. You don't have to fall out with every single person to stop being their friend. You can just put a little distance, because at the end of the day, you don't owe anybody a friendship. You're not bound to friendship. You're allowed to make new friends. You're allowed to grow apart. Nobody's gonna tell you who to be friends with. Just don't start acting weird. Next, don't be messy. Literally just that. Don't be messy. Nobody likes somebody who's messy. You get caught up in a bunch of mess. Who can defend you when you're messy? Next, you need to let go and let God. Don't stress over things that you can't control. Don't even look back on the past. Sometimes things happen with people, things happen with grades, things don't go the way you want them to. You can't control everything. God has a plan for you, so let go and let Him show you the way, because a lot of times you want that steering wheel, right? And you just want to be in control. Now, imagine you have God already on the steering wheel, and now you're coming in and you're like, no, I want it this way. Now you got a hot mess. Now you're heavily cooked. Let go, let God. At the end of the day, everything is going to be okay. Next, don't be afraid to ask for help. I say this because sometimes you might need help in a subject, and that's okay. And sometimes your question might be giving you didn't listen for the past 20 minutes. But you can either ask that question and look a little slow in the moment, or you can look slow when those test grades come back. You need to advocate for yourself. Send emails to teachers, ask questions in class, because other people probably have the same question as you. I know that a lot of people say that, but it's so true. And also, asking a question doesn't hurt when it comes to your grades. Next thing, this is so like, wow. Please know where you're not wanted. If your friends talk about you, those aren't your friends, okay? If they criticize everything that you do, those are not your friends. If they never stand up for you, those are not your friends. If they make rude remarks towards you, those are not your friends. If they seem to have secret animosity, those are not your friends. If they only talk about people to you, those are not your friends. If all of your conversations revolve around them, those are not your friends. If they never pay attention to you, that's not your friend. If you're always doing what they're doing, that's not your friend. And if they're pulling you down with them, that's not your friend. First of all, people view you as the company that you keep. That's the first thing. So if you're hanging out with people that move weird and they're just known for being that way, that's how people are going to perceive you. That's the first thing. And second of all, you genuinely look so dumb when people are talking about you and you're going up and kissing them like they're your friend. If I can see you chasing behind somebody because you want them to be your friend and it's so obvious that they don't like you, you should be able to see that. You should, because now you look like Bobo the Fool. Bobo the Clown, Boo the Fool, same difference. You look dumb. My last tip, people they don't want to argue with me on this or whatever. First of all, it's that dang phone. That's the first thing. That wasn't what I was gonna say. AI is useful, can be useful, has been useful. If you can't function without AI, you're heavily cooked. But if you use AI to revise some writing that you did, I don't see an issue with it. And then second, if you can't write an essay without AI, you're heavily cooked. But if you use AI for inspiration on your essay, just make sure that it doesn't show up on the AI detector. Literally just search AI detector, put your essay in there. It highlights the parts that are most likely generated by AI. Put it in your own words. If you're copying and pasting AI essays, don't be surprised when you get that 0. That's all I have to say. Anyways, guys, that's all for today's video. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. Feel free to comment any questions about sophomore year or just high school in general, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Mwah.